Hey guys, Ronnie here. Uh, Welcome back to the part two of Unity's a dive into Unity's uh, 2D game kit. Um, in between, I made a couple of real simple changes. I got rid of the chomper that was up here because I don't want to have to deal with that. As it happens, the chomper is cool, but I haven't figured out how to make the attack work. And I mean, it's supposed to be as simple as turn it on and uh, hit O or K, but it didn't work. So the other thing I did is over here, I just extended this platform out a little bit further. So let's go ahead and zoom in here to Ellen. And the level looks pretty cool as it sits, but um, there's there are ways to make the level look even better. Okay, and that's decorations. If you look in the art folder for the 2D game kit, you'll find sprites and a bunch of different things here. Okay, the one that we're really interested in here is environment. And this gives you a whole bunch of uh, just sprites to uh, pretty up the background. Okay, there's things like little plants and you can put here and there. Um, One of the things I like are the hanging plants. So you get something like this. Uh, Excuse me. But what this is for, what this does is it gives the your levels a little bit more depth. Okay, not everything that goes in the level needs to be interactable. Okay, um, the platforms are walkable. The enemies are fightable, but the with the uh, with all of these things, they're just to make uh, the uh, the level a little bit more detailed. Okay, and like I said, not everything that goes in the level needs to be interacted with. So make use of these and uh, pretty up your levels. The other thing that we want to do, okay, and that's going to be coming over here. Like I said, I extended this platform out, okay, because I'm going to put a transporter here. And that's kind of the next thing. So it is possible to teleport a player from either one area in a scene to another, or to transport the player between different levels. Um, uh, of course, transporting a player using a transporter to transport between levels is pretty cool all by itself. But the first thing we're going to look at is teleporting within the scene. All right. So to teleport the player within a scene, what we need to do is set up a transition. For this, we're going to make two prefabs: a transition start and a transition end. First, we need to set up the starting point of the transition. So in the project window, we're going to go to prefabs, scene control, and we're going to find the transition start prefab. And we're going to drag that into the scene view, and you see it right here. We've got the transition point script, and then we're going to set up our destination. So what we're going to do is I'm going to set the destination at the beginning of our level. Okay, right here will do just fine. So in order to set the destination, what we're going to do is we're going to I know there's a transition destination here, okay, but we're going to drag another transition start in and set it right here. Whoops. And in the hierarchy, we're going to link these two together. In the hierarchy, we're going to select the transition start that we just created, and we're going to rename it to transition end, just like that. We're going to take the first one, the transition start, and in the inspector, we're going to find the transition point component, which is right here. We're going to drag Ellen, the Ellen game object, from the hierarchy into the transition point component's transitioning game object slot, which is the first one. So only Ellen will transition. And then we're going to set the transition type to same scene. Now, what this does is it ensures that Ellen is the only object that's teleported, and that she is teleported within the same scene. Now we're going to go ahead and set the destination. So what we're going to do is drag the transition end game object that we just created to the transition point component's destination transform slot. And that goes right there. And we're going to leave the transition win to an on trigger event. Okay. Now, it is possible to have it work through code, or to activate when a key is pressed. But we're just going to leave it on trigger. By the way, in the code, the interact key is E. Okay, so if we set it to interact pressed, we'd have to go to the transport point and then press E. All right, but that would require actually adding some other visual cues, okay, which we're not going to do right now. So and that is it. That should just work at that point. Let's go ahead and give this a quick test. Do. And there goes the door. Kill the spitter. We're going to walk over here to the transport. And it worked. And we know the other transport is right here, but we haven't set it up to transport anything. So it doesn't do anything but receive the transport. So fantastic. That is set. In order to use it to teleport to
Are
another.
you still there?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Didn't hang up.
And that was my wife on the phone. She had called me and oops. So where were we at? Transporting to another scene. So to make a player transition to a new scene, we need, once again, two prefabs. The transition start, of course, just like before. Okay, and let's go over to our transition start. Okay, so our transition start. And then the second one, the receiving prefab, is the transition destination. Okay, um, that's the prefab that receives the player as it's after after transitioning. Um, the what you do is you place the uh, transition destination component in a different scene. Okay, you create a new scene. You put the transition destination component at the beginning of it, and uh, and then set everything up from there. Um, the of course you get the what you'll do is once again you'll bring Ellen in as your transitioning object. Um, you do leave it to different zone. Okay, that gets you into a new scene, and it will show you the different scene names that you have available. Okay, you select the scene that it's going to, and uh, that should do everything right there. Okay, um, when you do set up the destination, okay, um, you do get the scene transition destination script and component, and then the character state setter component. So to set up the destination, you always set the destination up first so that we have all the information we need later when we set up the start point. You add a transition to the scene, open that scene, navigate to the project window, uh, go into, once again, prefab scene control, select your transition destination, and place it in the scene. First, you set the destination tag to a letter. Okay, so here's your destination tag. Set it to a letter because the scene could have your scene could have more than one destination uh, 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 transition destination game objects, and you want to make sure each one has a different letter. Okay, um, that will tell you what you have. Your transitioning game object is once again going to be Ellen, and finally, make sure your destination scene is in the editor's build settings. And if you do not remember how to do a build settings, just go click File, Build Settings, and just make sure everything that your scene is in here. Very simple. Then you go back. Once you've set up the destination, you go back to the the sending scene. Click on your transition start, and that's where you set everything up here. Like I said, I'm not going to actually create a second scene, but that's what you have there. Now, most objects within the kit play with the event system seen in the pressure pad setup. So in order to get an idea of that, what I'm going to say is go ahead and back in our build settings, I'm just pulling this up so you can see. You got your start. Okay, this is going to be basically for loading. Okay. And then you got these 5 zones. Okay. Check out each of these zones. Okay, because each one has different pieces of the gameplay, and it shows you some ideas of different ways to handle things. Of course, you can look at the components documentation, which right here, and this tells you things that you have here. About different things, and make your levels. Absolutely. With that said, this makes creating a platformer super easy. I've done a few platformers in the past, and let me tell you, creating the map, okay, basically, is, in my opinion, the hardest part. Okay, Unity makes it really easy to take take your character and make it move. Okay, to activate the animations and everything there. The issue is really building out your levels, and this is really not a great well-designed level. Okay, this was 100% just following the tutorial and using some of the power that comes with the kit for demonstration purposes. But you can absolutely use the tools that are here to make some great levels. The one thing I would suggest, if you're using the 2D game kit to build a platformer, replace the sprites for Ellen with your own sprites if you're going to go and publish it. Everything else is pretty much you can just use. Okay, I get rid of the background and change that to something else, but everything else is pretty open for use. The of course, you just dig into Ellen here, and you can see the different things, different parts of her, and just replace the sprites. It's that simple. If you have any questions, I would love to see the levels that you create. So if you make a really cool level, throw it on a Dropbox or Google Drive, and put the link in the comments down below. I would love to see them and see what you come up with. And if you like this video, then absolutely thank you so much, and give it a like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and thank you for listening to my wife as she called me earlier. So have a great day, and thank you.